Welcome back to the Love Club. Today we're going to talk about consumption, not in the sense of food, but in the sense of music, movies, the news, things like that. We're going to talk about how that changes how you feel, how you think, and also what changes that we have made in terms of what we consume and how that's made things different for us. Natalie, should we start with music?
Yes, sounds good.
I know you have some experience with this.
Yeah, I do. No, but I think it's really interesting just that the things that we consume affect our lives so much more than we think. And music is such a good example of that. I think when it comes to music, it's something we often listen to, like we connect to an artist. And I think it's also like good to think about what kind of feelings the music is creating for you. If you listen to sad music, you'll get sad. If you listen to happy music, you'll feel happy. Like it changes our mood in such a powerful way. And I think that's why it's very interesting to talk about how it affects us. Because it might not be something that you even reflect on. Like you have your songs, your favorite artists, but what is it? Like, how do they make you feel? Do they make you feel empowered? Do they make you feel sad? Or like there's so many different emotions that can be tied to music. Whenever I feel sad or a little bit down, now I listen to happy music when I feel like that. But I didn't always do that. I used to be a sad girl music. Like I used to love the sad girl music when I was younger, especially when I was a teenager. I used to love to listen to like Lana Del Rey and Marina the Diamonds and like different, like not necessarily just, I don't know, it was just like not the happiest music.
Mm.
And I do think that affects us. But like it's interesting because sometimes when we feel sad, it can feel very comforting to listen to sad music because then we feel less alone.
Yeah, and you sort of wallow in it. Like it
Exactly.
enhances the feeling and it sort of gives you maybe support in that's a good feeling or like a feeling to continue to feel.
Exactly. But the thing is that now I would never do that. Like I wouldn't just like you said, just stay in that emotion or like enhance it with music. Now I would try to listen to something happier. If I'm going to listen to something, I would try to change that mood. I wouldn't like dive into it more. And I think that is so interesting because like you've never really listened to sad music. You don't like sad music. And I think that is so interesting.
Yeah, it is. We've always had really different taste in music, or like growing up, we did. You used to love like slow and quite sad song, or like, acoustic vibes, more like
Exactly. Sam
sad kind of
Smith and
songs.
like,
Yeah, exactly.
exactly.
And I just never liked that because that's always made me feel sad. I don't know if I'm extra sensitive to it, but it's always been a conscious choice for me to not listen to sad music, to like never listen to sad music. And if someone's got sad music playing, I would like, could we do something a little bit more upbeat, more happy?
Yeah.
Because sometimes when I listen to sad music, I feel like I want to cry. Like I get that level of, I just feel into the music so much. So I almost feel like I can't listen to sad music.
Yeah. No, I get that. Like when I listen to Billie Eilish sometimes, I can get so sad. Like the music is so sad. It's very deep. But yeah, I just find it interesting because we talked about music make you happy or sad. And if I look at my teenage years and like my early 20s, I wasn't necessarily happy. Like I had a lot of emotions, and I think we all experience different things in life and we have different ways of processing our emotions. But just looking at my life now and looking at my life then, like I'm so much happier now choosing a different route when it comes to music, but also like, with movies and different things, just being aware of what I consume and what I take in, because that will reflect how I view the world in a way, and especially with news, for example. So I think it's I think it's just an interesting aspect to really reflect on it. Like, what choices do I make? Because there's so many choices. Like, you can choose whatever you want to listen to nowadays. And just thinking about those choices. Like, I never listen to sad music anymore. And it's very interesting. Like, I used to love that, but I never do it.
How do you
Because it
feel
does
now
make me
when you
feel
hear a
sad.
sad song? Like you feel sad?
Yeah, I do but I get affected as well. I think most of us do get affected. And I guess that's the reason we listen to it as well. But I think being more aware of what it can do to you, like mentally is important. Like if you always listen to sad songs every day, like how would that affect your mood versus listen to very like happy, upbeat songs? So I really think that that's an interesting aspect.
Yeah, and I don't think you notice it very much if you normalize it. If you always listen to sad music, I think you're not going to feel sad always when you listen to it. But I think there's going to be that subconscious thing of
Yeah.
hearing the sad music and just, the underlying feeling of it.
And if you think about like movies, for example, the music in movies is so powerful. Like we don't even think about it
Yes.
when we watch the movie, but if you turn off the sound, and it would be like a completely different experience.
Yes.
So music really does have an impact on us. And if it didn't, the movies wouldn't have any music in it. It's very obvious as well, like with the music. Like I could even tell when I was on Love is Blind, like when it was like happy music, like now it's going great. Oh, happy music in the background. And then when it's going bad, it's like really sad or like dark music. And it's just funny. Like it's so obvious once you hear it, like how much it controls like or affects the feeling that the viewer gets from watching something.
Yeah. You can change everything with music. You can make something funny, scary, and something scary, funny, and you can really, really change the mood of things.
Exactly. Music is very powerful. And so it's very interesting. And also, since we're talking about movies, like movies is so typical. Like it's also that kind of thing, and especially with horror movies.
Yes.
We used to love watching horror movies when we were kids. You used to love it.
So, I was obsessed. I was obsessed with it.
And I think that affected me and Simona, our younger sister. I think we just kind of went in the same direction.
Because we used to watch them role model.
No.
Yeah. And it was these crazy Japanese movies that were super scary. Like the original versions of like The Ring and The Grudge and just... really disturbing.
It's kind of funny, like you won't listen to sad music because that makes you sad. Yeah. But you watch like a horror movie, like the scariest movie ever. You'll be like, this is fine.
Can't listen to Sam Smith, but I can watch all of the Grudge movies, the Japanese versions. No, it's true. It is true. And it's strange. And I think that's like just something that you normalize. Like I had normalized that. Yeah. I watched horror movies on the weekends, like the scariest, most horrible ones. And then I was afraid to wash my makeup off after.
Yeah, exactly.
Because I was, there was going to be a ghost in the mirror or behind me or something like that.
Yeah. And that is such an interesting one because I also feel like that. When I get anxious or like I watch, it doesn't just have to be horror movie. It could be like a true crime, anything like that just kind of freaks me out a little bit. Mm-hmm. It will affect like my sleep. Going to bed, I will like relive what I saw. And like it does affect you. Like washing off your makeup, you're like kind of like need to lock the door or like wash one half face and then the other.
I've done that as well, or like one eye and then the other eye so that I can see what's happening around me.
And then like you're going crazy. This is not normal behavior.
No. And why do you do that to yourself? Like if that happened once, shouldn't that be enough? Like you should be like, oh my God, I shouldn't watch horror movies. And they just keep doing it like every weekend for years. Like how crazy is that? That's like the definition of madness. Like,
but also like it's funny because if they would come in, like a murderer would come in, you're like, look, one eye. Like you're not going to defend yourself anyway.
Not really,
so no. Like, no.
False sense of security happening.
Exactly.
One eye open.
Yeah. No, but it is like interesting with movies. I think they can be very powerful. Like I'm really trying to not watch. I don't want to watch too much scary movies nowadays. I do love true crime and like I do find it so it's so fascinating and like it's like especially when they're like, oh, in the city it could have been anyone. Like you're like, oh my God. It's just like I think it's like about this false sense of security. You're like feeling like if I know like what happened, maybe I could prevent it. Like I don't know. It's like something I just find it very fascinating.
But I think that's a problem as well, that it's something that happened in real life. And that kind of makes it worse.
Yeah, it does.
Because then it feels like it could be you.
If it's a horror movie, you can just go like, it's just a film. But
it's not real. It's supernatural. Like no scary little child is going to come and haunt me and climb out of my mirrors. And
Exactly.
that's not realistic, but true crime is
No.
realistic. And I struggle with that because
Exactly.
it also feels like it's like important, for the
Yeah. Yeah.
victims, and like it's important stories. But at the same
Yeah.
time, it really gets your stress levels up and affects your nervous
Mm.
system. And I think you look for danger more if you
Yeah,
watch
you
a lot of
do.
true crime.
Definitely. Yeah. Yeah, I know that I do. Like, for sure.
Mm.
Yeah, I just think, like, I'm not saying never watch true crime again, because I'll watch them sometimes, but just being aware of what they can do, like just being aware of
Yes.
it, I think is like key. So you don't
Mm.
watch them like constantly and then you're all tense and like feel that in your body and like walk around having to look over your shoulder in a little way, in a way.
Yeah.
So I think that's it's just good to be aware, I think.
Mm. Exactly. And choose.
Um
Like, don't just
yeah,
watch true crime all day, every day, but be a bit intentional, maybe. Like, oh, this
exactly.
looks really interesting. I'll watch
Yeah,
this.
exactly. Yeah,
And
I
also
really think
maybe
so as well.
not before you go to bed. I
Yeah,
think that's
that's
also
true.
like quite a good
That's
thing. Like,
usually when we watch TV or like in the after
exactly.
evening after work.
And I think that's an issue as well,
Yeah.
because then your brain is just full of all of that information when you go to
Yeah.
bed. So I think
Mm.
try to watch something more lighthearted or funny
Yeah.
before you go to bed. Like, watch the true crime and then watch something after and then go to bed. I think
Yeah,
that
I
that will
agree.
help
Yeah,
also.
I think that's really good advice. Because no, we watched the Victor, my husband, and my little brother. We have movie nights on a regular basis, which is really nice.
So cozy.
Um, yeah, but we watched a lot of like movies they want to watch. So I feel like next time it's my choice. And it won't be like we watched Lord of the Rings and then we moved on to Batman. And I get so anxious, like I get so stressed in my body, and not because it's scary, but because it's stressful. It's like
Mm,
war in the Lord of the Rings. It's like everyone looks scary though as well.
yeah.
Everyone looks scary.
Yes.
And
Yes, they
then
do.
like Batman, I don't know, it's just very stressful movies when there's so much violence
Mm,
and fighting and like it's very intense. So
yes.
and I feel like when I sit there, I can feel my shoulders like tense up. I can feel in my body that I'm like stressed.
Yeah.
And so I've just realized like lately that it really doesn't really work for me. Like I have to watch calmer TV
Mm.
shows and films.
Yeah, but I think that's so important as well, just noticing, because it's so easy
Yeah.
to be on autopilot and just watch,
Mm,
anything. And if you
yeah.
really feel like that affects you, it can be different from time to time as well. Like, you could have one period where you're stressed about something else, and then it really stresses you watching violent movies and things like that, that, really affects your nervous system and your body. And I think
Yeah.
just being aware that these things do affect you, I think that's the
Exactly. And then
key.
you can make a choice. Like I think
Yes.
it's all about being aware and then making the choice. Okay, but I really want to watch this. Then you watch it.
Yes.
But just being aware. But I really like that tip that you said about watching something different before, like or after it,
Yeah.
so you don't have to feel all stressed out
Yeah. I always did
going
that
to
with
bed.
horror movies when I watch horror
Yeah,
movies. But then I think it's important to also do it if you watch anything that's scary or unsettling. Because true
yeah,
crime is not always scary, it's just
no,
unsettling sometimes. It's not
exactly.
something that pops up and scares you, so you get like
No,
adrenaline.
yeah,
But it's something that's like disturbing and
mm,
really can linger, I think, in your brain. So I think it's great to watch something that's more fun, lighthearted, and that gives you a more positive sense of reality, like before you go to bed and process everything or process your day basically when you sleep.
yeah. No, I really agree. And another thing is the news. That is something that,
Controversial topic.
yes, a lot of us consume the news, and usually in the morning. Um, and I think the news are very interesting because it's like, of course, like I understand the aspect of it being very important, like learning about the world and what is happening. I study journalism, so I understand the importance of it. It's very important. Um, but I also know that there's a like negativity bias in journalism, unfortunately, because the news and the papers and the media has to make money, and people will click more on negative news rather than positive ones. So that is why there are more negative news that they write about rather than the positive ones. And I think that's such a shame because I know that there are a lot of good things happening in the world,
Mm.
but that's not being written about as much.
No, I follow an account on Instagram that's called Good News Girl, and
Yeah.
she just brings up good news. So every day she has a something good that's happened in the world,
Yeah.
which I
Yeah.
love. And I wish there were like a news program for that as well. But that's
Yeah.
not as attractive to people, or like it doesn't get that much attention
No,
in the
exactly. And I
media.
think, yeah. And I think that is also our brains because it is a way to try to protect ourselves. Like
Hmm.
reading about scary things because we want to know about it. Like we want to be able to prevent things in our own lives and we want to know rather than not knowing. But it's a false sense of security because you can't do anything about it anyway. Like there's war in another country, like there's little you can do as a person to affect that. And of course there are things that you can do, but like reading the news every day and just consuming that is probably not going to help anyone.
No, reading every news story
Oh,
is never going to help.
no.
And I think that's really changed things for me. So I don't actively seek out any media outlet or the news. I feel like I find out about things as much as I need to anyway. I
Yeah.
don't need to go in and click on articles and get
Mm,
scared about,
yeah.
what's happening in the world. And oftentimes, like you go into a news site and it's just like, oh, this murder happened, this murder happened. Say
Mm,
everyone's been murdered.
yeah.
And
Yeah.
it's usually not like close to you. It's funny
No.
because sometimes if you're on like, for example, on the Swedish site and you click on something and it's like, oh, this happened over in Australia. But it was just
Yeah.
like sensational, it's newsworthy
Yeah.
because something dramatic happened.
Yeah.
I feel like it just increases your stress levels so much.
Yeah. And also like with the titles, they angle it so you'll click on it. So they will
Yes.
like write it. If it was sensational, they will make it more sensational or
Yeah.
as much as possible because it's clickbait. Like they want you to click on that article.
Yeah.
So they will usually use very dramatic words
Yeah.
also so you will react. So it's yeah, that is how it works.
Mm. Yeah, that's how they
But
make their money.
mm,
And I think that's
yeah,
important to
exactly.
think about as well. Like what they make
Mm,
their money off of is not telling the truth, it's not showing something in the light or the correct version of events. It's not really, that's not what they make money off of. What they make money off of is you clicking on something, you reacting, getting stressed, getting scared,
mm.
getting happy in some cases, but that's not very often. But getting a reaction from you so that you click it so that they can
Yeah,
sell ads. That's what it is
exactly.
in
Yeah,
general.
exactly. Yeah, and I really agree. Like, I think because we stopped reading the news at pretty much the same time, I think, like
Yeah,
you and
I
I.
think so too. Yeah.
And some people really went like, "Well, what if you miss out on this? And like, what if you don't know when this happens?" And it's like you find out anyway. You have people
Yes.
around you that will be updated in other ways or like with the news or anything. Like you will find that information. Like if you need to know, then you will know. So I really don't see it as an issue.
No. Same. I haven't missed anything important
No.
in these last few years when I haven't read the news or actively
Mm,
read the news.
yeah. When you have social media, I feel like things
Yes,
pop up there. So I'll also like, and if there's something you want to read into, you can do that. But like everything, yeah, it just pops up anyway when you're on social media.
exactly. You sort of get fed the news whether you want to or not.
Yeah.
But I think you can follow along with what's happening in the world enough if you have social media or you're online and you talk to people in
Exactly.
general. You don't have
Yeah,
to actively go to a news website and scroll.
exactly. Just being aware of what you consume and how it affects you and your feelings and your mood throughout the day.
Yeah. And make conscious choices. If you want to watch a true crime documentary, make sure you choose to do that, not just, on autopilot, just keep watching everything all the time. Or do that if you want, but then it's a conscious choice.
Yeah, exactly.
So I think it's very empowering to know that these things affect you and
Mm,
you decide if you engage in an activity or not. And like you're going to watch true crime documentaries, I'm going to watch true crime documentaries, but I'm going to try to do it a little bit less. And I'm also
yeah,
going to try to protect myself a little bit from it. So, for example, maybe not watching it directly before I'm going to go to bed and things like that. So, little things like that I think really can help as well.
Yeah, exactly. So that was it for this episode. Thank you so much for listening. And don't forget to follow us on Spotify. And we will see you in the next episode.
Bye.